show, the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Monday. And if there was a Monday that I ever felt like a Monday, it might be this particular Monday because my God, we have so much to cover. Hello, Jax. How you doing?
I'm darn good. We have a lot to cover on this Monday that feels like a Monday, first Monday in March. Let's get this bread.
Oh, wait, it's almost the Met Gala. Just like a fun fact.
In 2 months, if that's
yeah, like you
by almost.
Yeah, like we're almost there.
In
like
2
you said, the
months.
first Monday in March, it just reminded me, like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
something
on the
coming
horizon.
up. That's something to look forward to.
Is it? You're so mainstream these days. I can't keep up with you.
The thing is that, you know, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I go through eras where like I'm such a hater of things, and it's hard because like your job is to like, you know, watch it all, recap it all, and no one wants to come on here being like, I hate. And I do. I'm just like a hater to my core. But yes, I have been very mainstream, like watching everything on TV these days. It's more so pregnancy. Like, like even though the Oscars was one of those miserable experiences, like, do you know how grateful I was to have to watch something that I could like live tweet and like be a part? Like the activities don't come as easily as they used to. So if my mainstream is coming off as anything other than a lack of other options, then I'm sorry.
No, it's nice. And we don't hate like by choice. We are dedicated to the truth. And if things shake out in a hateful way, that's literally not our fault.
And I really feel like I've been so positive recently. And I'm really due for like a hater episode. I have actually a lot of really kind of hot button controversial things to say. I'm not sure if I'm going to say all of them. I haven't even spoken to you offline.
I think you should just let it rip. I'm feeling really motivated by the truth. I feel like that's really what's guiding me. I don't go through a hater era like where I'm just like angry at stuff. It's like if it's good, it's good, and if it's not good, I'll say so. Let the truth guide you, Cogers.
Yeah. So I just have a lot of thoughts, and also this is the first year. This is the first year that I'm really well versed in the movies. You know, I've seen most of the talkies.
That's so good because they love to say you didn't even watch the movies.
And so now that I haven't, you're going to regret making me watch these movies because I have some really kind of crazy things to say. So the first story we have today is the Oscars. We'll get into that in a little bit. But how was your weekend, Jax? Tell me all about it.
Cogers, it was a nice weekend, but it wasn't my finest, and it was actually like quite boring. So I'll be brief. Sick again this weekend, which really put a damper on things. Like, I guess it's just a cold. At one point, I was like, do I have allergies? I looked up, like, what's the allergy count right now? Because it was just like so sneezy, so sniffly. It was Ms. I have to read the 600 paid books for the redhead. So all my free time was dedicated to reading this book that started out as like a demon copperhead type. And now I hate this author. You know when that happens? Like he set out He set out to do something. He bit off more than he could chew. He doesn't know where he's going. So I didn't even watch anything fun because I was reading this book, which I don't hate, but I've just been like knee deep in reading. Yesterday, we did go on a local safari. So that was fun. I got to see exotic animals. And that was the highlight of my weekend. So yeah, like really nothing fabulous to share, unfortunately.
Mine wasn't fabulous either, although I did have a dinner party on Friday night. The Taylors came over.
You did.
Yeah.
She was hard to get a hold of.
It was one of those nights that like was perfect and only would have been made more perfect if I could have a cocktail, you know?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I thought you were going to say it was one of those nights that was written in the stars.
No. Ben, Taylor, like we were having so much fun. Ben made a beautiful meal. We played like board games. Like, you know, that's my dream night.
Oh, I saw slaw and schnitzel.
And everybody was like drinking wine, and Ben doesn't really drink, and he did. And I was like, oh my God, of course, like one night you get like fun drunk and I'm not even allowed to participate. So it was fun, but like it could have been better, you know?
With a drink.
Yeah, but that's actually not the most important thing that happened to me this weekend. I too had a pretty boring weekend, although I consumed a lot of content for the purposes of today's show.
Yeah.
I finished Love is Blind. I watched so much Desperate Housewives. I won't bore you guys with it, but it's just like the only thing that brings me joy. But I also had a traumatic event that I'd like to...
Oh my gosh, you guys. You're not going to believe this. If you've been here a while, you will not believe this story.
Yes, you will not believe that like the craziest thing ever happened to me
again.
So I'm obviously pregnant. I don't know if I mentioned that. I talk about it like so little, and I get no backlash every time. Could I just say, like, I got so much hate on Friday after like talking about pregnancy for 20 minutes. Like, I feel like I've been so good reeling in my pregnancy stuff. And like, guys, just let me live. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, what do you want me to do? Like,
Coach, can I ask you
sorry.
something?
Yeah.
Is it your truth? Then let it guide you.
I fear it is, yes.
Then let it guide you.
Okay. So one of the absolute blessings of pregnancy is how frequently you have to pee. And for some reason, like, you have to pee way more at night. And so I'm used to it now. I'm up to about 3 pees. Every 2-3 hours I pee. And on Saturday night, I got up to pee. And what's so funny is that something woke me up, and then I was like, oh, I'll pee, you know? And the thing that woke me up was Ben's heavy breathing. He's like literally behind me, and I hear him just like whistling in the wind. And I'm like,
that
all right.
bump made us jump.
Literally. So he woke me up, and I was like, well, while I'm up, I might as well just get my pee out of the way. So I get up to pee. The door's closed to the bathroom. We have an ensuite. I open the door to the bathroom, and there's a man in my bathroom, like coming out of the toilet. And I screamed so loud, like truly, like if you're being kidnapped, like you scream. And then the man is also screaming. And then I'm screaming, and the man's screaming. And I realized very quickly that the man is Ben, which I didn't really understand because 3 seconds before he was in the bed waking me up with his snoring. So I'm like, how did you get in the toilet? We are screaming off like the whole thing, like seriously, never ended. Like scream, I scream, he scream, I scream, he scream. And then I was so petrified, like true fear that I collapsed. Like my body gave out and I totally forgot I was pregnant. I landed on my knees, thank God. I have never been so scared.
Except for the last time that happened.
This one was worse.
By the way,
This
Claudia,
one was worse.
if you're a new toaster in Claudia and Ben's old apartment, so just to say, like 2 years ago, this exact thing happened. She went up to pee in the middle of the night. She opened the door and there was someone in her bathroom and they screamed at each other and it was Ben.
Actually, the last time the roles were reversed. I was on the toilet and it's pitch black and I like look up for a second and there's a man standing over me. I don't know which one was more scary. This one just feels more scary because it was more recent. But oh my God, I've never felt like such abject terror in my entire fucking life. Like, I'm like, just, I was up for an hour afterwards. My knees were killing me because I collapsed onto my knees. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. We now have rules in place. And I'm just like, can I have one thing? Like what, you have to pee in the middle of the night too? Like I'm fucking pregnant. Like I said, first of all, and ever since it happened, I'm very aware that it could happen again. And I always now pee with the door open. And like I make a lot of sound when I pee, just so somebody knows that like, hi, I'm here. So I'm aware of it. Ben is obviously not. So now we have rules in place. I said for the remainder of the pregnancy, like you have to pee in the guest room in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And if you do happen to like forget and pee in our bathroom, like pee with the door open, make a lot of sound, like just make yourself known. Don't be like, you know, tiptoeing in the night.
No, he's not welcome in your bathroom anymore. That has to be like, we can't have this happen again. He needs to use the other bathroom. Maybe you guys need a nightlight, various nightlights in your bedroom so that it's never like pitch black. And when you see,
it's not like the reason that this happened had nothing to do with the level of darkness. Like,
well, it doesn't happen in the middle of the day.
Well, it happened in our old apartment and we had a nightlight on the floor in the bathroom. Like it's not about that. And I'm actually just want to say, like, I don't feel like this is that crazy. I'm surprised it doesn't happen to more people because like when your partner gets out of bed, like it jostles the bed and like wakes you up and you're like, oh yeah, I'll pee. And you don't realize that you're jostled because they got up to pee.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not the craziest thing. And the fact that it's happened to me twice now, like sounds crazy, but it's not.
Yeah. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge.
I'm surprised my doorbell didn't ring with the cops. Like that, good to know that not a single one of my neighbors called the police
Gives a rip.
when two people were screaming for their fucking
You guys are the craziest two people. That's the thing. You and Ben are so crazy. You're seriously perfect for each other.
And can I tell you something crazy? I know it's not the point. Like it's not the point. But like Ben screamed.
No.
It was really icky. Like,
I was gonna say, like, pussy.
And like the pitch and the tenor of it,
and it's like he's
was
just seeing like a small beautiful woman. Like,
what are you afraid of? Like, it was so girly. His scream was like it sounded like a woman.
And like he should have known that's you.
Obviously,
because like
my
you
thing is that I pee,
right?
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing here? Get out of here!
No,
like,
that's really
I had
crazy that he screamed.
I had reason to be suspicious about the man in my bathroom.
Unless like your scream scared him, because like screams are scary.
By the way, that is what happened because now I can laugh like replaying like his face like
I seriously can't.
But in the moment it was so scary, like I couldn't laugh. Now I can.
Were you mad at him after?
No, I was really, really shaken up. Like I was so afraid. Yes, I had actually went through like the real feelings of somebody being kidnapped. Like your worst nightmare, you wake up and someone's in your house, right? Like now thankfully the person in my house lived there, but it was like the real feelings of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and how was Romeo?
He has been sleeping in the crate because he's pissing us off. So he was a non-factor. I can only imagine what he would have thought.
Romeo's POV.
Right? You guys.
My parents are crazy.
So crazy.
Like you guys are so crazy.
It was the craziest thing.
Sound off in the comments, does this happen to you? Like, is this something that happens?
Yeah. And what are like solves? Having a second toilet is huge. Like obviously, like sorry, your walk is now much longer, but it's not my problem.
Yeah. A small price to pay.
Oh my God. It was the craziest thing that ever happened to me. And then like we were just supposed to wake up and be normal. And we woke up and went to brunch with Ben's parents, and I actually had to leave early. I was really feeling like dizzy and not okay. I think that like the whole traumatic event really took a physical toll on me.
Yeah, well, the lack of sleep, the knees,
Yeah, it was,
you
like,
might have had like a
overheated.
vasovagal.
By the way, it was giving vasovagal, exactly. Like I was feeling really unsteady at brunch and like nauseous, like I was going to throw up. So I had to leave.
Or it was the pregnancy.
I think it was the vasovagal.
I think it was so vas.
It's giving vagal.
Vags.
So that's like literally the only thing I have to report from the weekend, because it was seriously, it wasn't real. It was literally a movie. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the movies, the Oscars
The
were on last
talkies.
night. I endeavored to watch them. We'll share all of our thoughts in the Fast Five, which I think...
Yeah, I mean, we should like make haste today. There's a lot to talk about.
We're doing Fast Five stories. You're doing Love is Blind recap. You never know what's going to come up along the way.
Kourtney Kardashian released a statement, and I feel bad. So like we have a lot to talk about. Oh, and we're doing Alix, Earle, Bethenny, Frankel. So that's another one of my like takes today that I feel like people are not going to see coming.
Oh, okay. You bet these better be good. I feel like you're really like. There's nothing worse than when someone's like, "I have a hot take."
Yeah, I know. Hot dogs are not sandwiches.
The word moist is weird.
No, I would say like my hottest take. It's like not even hot. You know, we'll talk about it. Okay.
Okay. Without further ado, here are the Fast Five stories you need to know.
And the Fast Five stories you need to know are brought to you by Netflix and their new series, Running Point, that I feel like everybody was talking about this weekend. It's now #1 on Netflix. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's the new comedy series from hitmaker and dream guest host on The Toast, Mindy Kaling. And it stars queen of rom-coms, beloved Hollywood glamazon. Her mom was at the Oscars last night, Kate Hudson. So Running Point is really edgy, it's bold, and it's a hilarious twist on the underdog comedy. It features Isla Gordon's rise to the top as one of the most iconic professional basketball franchises and her dysfunctional yet lovable family trying to block her shot. So a scandal forces her brother to resign, and then Isla, who's played by Kate Hudson, is appointed to president of the LA Waves, which is one of the most storied professional basketball franchises, and it's her family's business. She's ambitious, she's often overlooked. Isla will have to prove to her skeptical brothers, the board, and the larger sports community, especially two big sports podcasters like ourselves, that she was the right choice for the job, especially in the unpredictable, male-dominated world of sports. She may not have been a part of the original playbook, but as the skeptics will soon learn, she's calling all the shots now, so like it or not, she's here. It's a really fun and easy binge. It's sharp and edgy laugh-out-loud moments. It's star-studded with some of your faves. My fave from the other two is in it. I loved to see him on my screen. Mindy Kaling's a genius. Everything she puts her stamp of approval on, like you know it's going to be good, and Running Point is truly an example of that because just watch it, you'll love it. And it's now on Netflix, so you can watch it now. Again, it's called Running Point. It stars Kate Hudson and is written by Mindy Kaling, and you can watch it now on Netflix, wherever you do that, phone, tablet, computer, you know. Today's episode is also brought to you by Nutrafol. So if you've experienced any sort of hair issues, like hair thinning, like pieces of your scalp just being like a little bit more visible than they need to be, check out Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist. Oh my, it's literally like when your scalp is like showing itself, its true colors.
When I wear my hair like this, like for the show, and I see
shows
there's a
it's
little bit
giving
of scalp,
scalp.
like I can't watch the episode.
I know. So Nutrafol is a great resource. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, trusted by over 1.5 million people. If you want to see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months, do so with Nutrafol. If you've experienced hair shedding, you know how genuinely traumatizing it is to like brush your hair or like curl your hair and then look down at the floor and see how much fell out, like above the, you know, the average. And it's really difficult to know where to start. Nutrafol is such a great option. It's going to target the root cause of hair shedding. So they have multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout the different stages like postpartum, menopause, as well as for different lifestyles like plant-based diets. Many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, but Nutrafol is clinically tested their formulations to ensure their efficacy. It's physician formulated. The ingredients are 100% drug-free. So start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, they're offering our listeners $10 off their first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code THETOAST. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, which is Nutrafol.com. The promo code is THETOAST. That's Nutrafol.com. Our promo code is THETOAST.
Thank you, the Turt.
Now, before we dive into the Oscars, because I did spend like, you know, the latter 6 months, not latter, former 6 months like, of my life watching these movies. And I want to talk about my thoughts on them, right? Like, because I have a lot, I saw a lot of the movies, the winners, things like that. But I need to just kind of like take a big diarrhea dump before I do that. Because I had such a problem with the Oscars, and I know you did too. And I just want to I want to talk about how like offensive to my core. And obviously like I take things, you know, related to my people very, very personally, but I don't know how anyone could have watched the Oscars last night and not just like wanted to vomit all over these people, especially when you think about like, so top 4 awards, which were like best supporting actor, actress. 2 of them films were Holocaust movies. 2 of the actors who won are Jewish. And the way there was just like so much profiting off of Jewish trauma and like no mention of recent Jewish trauma, I found so offensive. Like
ongoing.
Yeah, I like Kieran Culkin, and like I don't want to, you know, smear him, but like you get up there, you won it for a Holocaust movie, you're not even Jewish, like to not even mention it, like I actually found so offensive. And I thought his speech was really sweet, like about his wife, like so cute, but like let's talk about what got you here first, just briefly. Like I know you have a limited amount of time. Mikey Madison, Jewish girl, no mention. Like this is the biggest moment. And Adrian Brody, and I'm sorry, like I love him. I'm gonna gag over him and Georgina and the gum. Like I'm gonna do it, but like
disappointment.
The speech was weak, especially because they started playing the music and he was like, no, stop, I have something to say. And I was like, oh, here we fucking go. Here we go. He stopped the music. I'm ready for him to slay the house down boots. And like he said anti-Semitism, like he was pushing out a duty, like it was the hardest thing he'd ever done. And then he also like blanketed it with other like sort of buzzwords.
Isms.
And it was not powerful. It was not moving. And the whole thing just felt so to me. And then for this film, which was like nominated in one of the categories normally people don't care about, like documentary short, it was called No Other Land to Have Won, which was like seriously like a propaganda film made about the war in Israel. For them to have won and then got up on stage and just like said to me like the most abhorrently offensive, unfactual things. Like to me, I wanted to turn the whole fucking thing off. I thought it was disgusting, like everything I've ever thought about Hollywood. And enough with the Jews run Hollywood, because if they did, like last night wouldn't have happened. So just please shut the fuck up. I wanted to turn it off, but I'm like, no, I did not come this far to only come this far. I watch these piece of shit movies. I'm going to see this through. So I will give my thoughts, and you know, I won't make everything about this, but I just needed to be said how personally offensive I found the whole night.
Yeah, first of all, I'm offended they started at 7 p.m. Like some of us have shit to do. So I didn't.
Oh, I was grateful.
I
was
didn't
really
know
grateful.
about that until like 7:40. So that's when I was able to start recording.
I'm sorry, wait, one more thing that like added to my list of offensive. I said everyone. And then for that ugly fuck, Guy Pearce, I've never even heard of him. Like, you come to the Oscars on the backs of a Holocaust movie and you wear your stupid, ugly Free Palestine pin. Like, you know nothing, you're an idiot, and I hate you.
Yeah, especially after the last few weeks when they've like, not that they ever hid who they were in Gaza, but like they have been so horrible, literally dancing and parading around the coffins of Jewish babies. Like, this is what you want to say today? Really?
Right.
That's who you are? Like, it's really sickening. So I watched from like 7:40 up until No Other Land or whatever won the best documentary. I'm like, why am I watching this? What I watched wasn't even enjoyable. These people are morons. I don't like them. I don't like this. Like, let me go back to my book. So I'll recap what I saw and we'll talk about the winners and tell me what you think, like from a cinematic perspective. But
I will.
Like, it also looks like shit. Like every preview for every movie looks like shit. And the good movies, and I know I only saw one, but like Wicked was an amazing movie. And the fact that
and it should have won every award.
And I've seen clips of Honora and Amelia Perez, and it's a joke. The girl writhing on the floor with the song "Fuck, Fuck, Buckety Fuck." It says "fuck" over. Conan O'Brien said it says "fuck" over 400 times in the movie. Like, and that's the best movie.
So that's my kind of big, like outside of my own personal politics, which I can admit, like I'm very close to. Now I'm going to take a step back and just talk about this as a movie critic, if I may, because I've seen all the movies. And when they played in the very beginning, like this little trailer of like movies of yore that have won Oscars, and it was all in tribute to LA. So it was like big Hollywood films. They had La La Land, everything it was just like so glamorous. And you're like, yes, this is the Oscars. Yes, yes, yes. And then you take a look at the slew of films that were nominated this year, and it's like, one of these things is not like the other. Like there was nothing. And then when you think about also, the films that won, like, oh, really? Like the category that, gave us La La Land and, 12 Years a Slave and Gone with the Wind, like the greats, Honora. Like it's actually crazy that I think what now is considered an Oscar-worthy film is just so different than what I'm used to seeing. And last night was just like all the worst movies being nominated and treated like, like something that they weren't.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I don't know if Honora should have won over Amelia Perez. To be honest, I don't really give a fuck. They're all the same type of movie. Like, where are the greats? Where are like these big productions? And like, the one thing I'll say about Honora that I liked is that it was an independent movie made for $6 million. And like, that just doesn't happen to movies like that. And like, that's cool. For sure. Shout out to the indies. They deserve, but at its core, like it was a dumb movie. Like I actually enjoyed it. Like it was like a silly movie you would see like with your friends. Like Oscars, it's just not adding up.
Yeah. So of the movies that you saw, what do you think should have won Best Picture? You saw Conclave, Amelia Perez, Honora, The Substance, and Wicked.
Honestly, like when I think of what constitutes an Oscar-worthy film, I would have said Conclave. And the more that I have, like, time has passed since I've watched this movie, I find myself, like, thinking most and talking to people about Conclave, as a good movie should. I enjoyed The Substance the most. I would have been happy if they won, and Demi Moore was 1,000% snubbed. Like, it's not even a question. Yeah, I think I would say Conclave.
Okay.
Or Wicked. Like, I know they're, like, against giving it to popular things, but when you think about movies in the year 2025, like you're only thinking about Wicked.
Yeah.
And it's okay to give it to something like corny and popular.
It's not even corny because it's like, it was really artistic. It's really theatrical. Like Cynthia Erivo has the most amazing voice on the planet. It will go down as a movie as big as
The Wizard of Oz.
Titanic. Like that was our movie of the year, like our big budget movie. Like La La Land, which didn't win, by the way, which is a perfect example.
Right.
Because the movie that won, nobody talks about today.
Moonlight, yeah. Okay, so let's go through the categories, but let's also just talk about the opening, which started out for me, and I'm feeling really critical of the night, so I'm going to say things about people whom I love.
Oh, yeah, we're waiting for the hot takes as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, one of my hot takes is that the performances were so bad, and that's not like a hot take or anything, but the performances obviously that stood out were Ari and Cynthia, and it was so pargy. The way they chose songs to encapsulate the entire Wizard of Oz universe, not just Wicked, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and then The Wiz, and then Wicked. Like, it was so beautiful, but I was really kind of like shooketh at Ari's vocals. I feel like you could always say what you want about Ari, right? Like, like her music or her personal life, but she's going to slay the house down boots with that voice, and she's going to shut everybody up. She was a little like shaky. I don't know if she was nervous, but it was not giving her parchy, flawless vocals. It was giving like, is she nervous?
So I saw that you said that before I watched it. I saw you say like Ari's vocals are eh. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh no, they sounded good considering I was expecting them to be eh. I wonder what I would have thought if I just watched it without any expectation, because I was like, oh no, she sounds nice. The only thing is, and I never noticed this, but I could hear her breathing. I feel like that's part of the trade where it's like your breath work you know where to take your breath so that we don't hear it, so that we don't know. Like, and I
Yeah,
just
no, she was
kept hearing,
shaking.
like,
Yeah, it wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't like blown away. And then Cynthia comes out and sang a song from The Wiz that I didn't know, but I was enjoying immensely. And Cynthia's just like, she could fart out a tune that's better than anything you've ever heard. And then when they brought the two women together, and I really did love that, like, even though the movie has been paraded as like Cynthia and Ari, Cynthia and Ari, Cynthia and Ari, like the big songs and the vocals, like it is Alphaba. And so I liked that the performance was like really for Cynthia, and Ari was very much there as like supporting act. Because that final song, like, oh my God, I wasn't okay. It was so beautiful. She didn't even look like she was trying. That was the crazy thing. Like the way she was hitting these notes, it was perfection. I liked the cinematography. They showed Ari in the back doing some supporting vocals. I hope you're happy. Like, parja-fucking-licious. I loved it. And I was like, oh, here we fucking go. The Oscars are about to, like, you know, the year I finally watched them all. I'm ready. And then Conan came out. And I want to say something. I don't have any particular strong feelings about Conan. I think people really love him, and people also really dislike him. So I was ready to be dazzled. I'm like, take me to your side. Make me a fan. And I found the whole thing like really hard to watch. He was really corny, and he was trying so hard, which like I appreciate, but it was reading so desperate. And I don't know, it was also like not funny. That's kind of where I draw the line.
yeah, that's what we're looking for. Funny.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And then with any host, even if you're doing a good job, towards the end, like I find you annoying. But I started finding him annoying like the second and third time he came on, and like I was just scrolling. I missed half of his jokes. Like he was really bothering me, irksome.
Okay, so it's a no from Conan.
It's a no for Conan. And
It's a
he
no-nin.
also, he just reminds me of like, and I know he's not like a Jimmy, but he has that vibe, and he didn't stand out in a way. So it was giving Jimmy.
Yeah.
There were a couple of good jokes, like I laughed, but the Carlos Sofia Gascon
Yeah.
of it all was very funny. I didn't know if they were going to dress that. I didn't even know if she was in the building.
She was in the building, right?
Because everybody was ignoring her. I didn't see her on the carpet. Like, so she had tweets. If you guys don't know, she's the actress from
Who plays Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez. Actually, it's Perez. There's an apostrophe over the first E. And everybody loves her, like queen, queen, queen. And then she had tweets, and now everybody hates. And she was nominated for Best Actress. So it was like really, like, she was a big player last night. She wasn't on TV once, except when Conan made the joke about her, which I actually thought was a funny joke, and good on her for, like, you know, playing into it, because I don't know where she goes from here. But
No, she goes nowhere from here. That was the craziest story. Like, this is the wokest movie of the year. And she was like everywhere, the darling. And then the tweets are so antithetical to like everything that the movie
stands for.
And it's just like womp, womp, womp.
No,
Do you
it was
think
so
Amelia
ironic.
Perez would have won Best Picture if not for that?
No, because I think by the time her tweets came out, like most of the voting had already been done, especially because this production was postponed.
Okay. No, not the production, the nominees, but something. Actually,
No,
that
the
would
whole
mean...
broadcast was postponed.
No, they said no, just the nominee announcement, but also that would mean they had more time to vote.
Yeah, I think that, and that was something a positive I want to give. And there's going to be very few positives, so just hold on to your horses. I really appreciated them giving Amelia Perez only 2 out of the 13 nominations. Now, I didn't agree with either of the 2, but they could have went home with more than that. And it would have actually been like such a slap in the face to everybody there.
Yeah.
That it was the right thing.
Yeah. So for the acting awards, Best Actress went to Mikey Madison, Honora. She beat out Demi Moore. That's the big snub.
Yeah, it should have went to Demi Moore. She was, first of all, that movie was really good, The Substance, and she was incredible. Like, it was, because we're talking about 2 different things here. It's hard to, with the actress categories, you have to separate the movies from the performance. Like, even if you thought the movie was bad, was their performance better? And Honora was a worse movie and a worse performance. And Demi Moore totally deserved it. It was her, I feel like one of her, like her only chance, you know? And it was so obvious that it was going to be her. She was sitting right in the front row. Like, why wasn't it? She was amazing.
Yeah.
And Honora was like this dumb, silly movie, I'm sorry, about like a wealthy Russian kid who moves to New York and like hides from his parents and hires a hooker and gets married to her, and they just like get drunk in Vegas. Like, it was so silly. And she plays the hooker, and she's just like, fuck yes, fuck that. She's like, she's from there. They film it in New York. So she's like this OG New York, like, stripper. And I didn't think the accent was very good. I wasn't really buying, like, it wasn't an amazing acting performance. So I have no idea why she won. And it should have been to me.
Yeah. Then Best Actor went to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, which I feel like is always a good choice. His second Oscar.
I didn't see this one, so I don't have like a strong feeling. But of the ones that I did see, I do feel like they could have given it to Ray Fiennes. Oh, that was a funny joke Conan made. Like, if you lose again tonight, we're allowed to call you Ralph. Funny.
That's funny. I wish it went to Timothy.
Oh, I saw that movie. It was bad. Sorry. I don't wish it went.
He just won the SAG award. He made a speech, but Kylie wasn't there because she was grieving. And then she's there last night, like, with the camera. I just would have loved to see it. And I don't have a horse in this race. And Adrian Brody, like, disappointed his whole community. So, like, why not Timothy?
Except he did something so cute. We need to talk about his speech. Okay. So he really couldn't believe that he won. He's like hugging everyone, giving Georgina the biggest kiss, like doesn't want to let go of his girl. He's walking up the stairs, then he realizes he has gum in. He's like, oh shit. But he's like halfway up the stairs. So he takes the gum out and he's like looking around for what to do with it. And Georgina's like running after him. She sees him in this predicament. Georgina's running like with the wrapper, you know? And he tosses it in the air. She goes to catch it. She did miss it, but like she picked it up off the ground. It was such a funny, like sweet, supportive moment. I saw people online being like, this is outrageous, throwing your trash at a woman. Shut up. It was funny. Like, it was funny. I thought it was really sweet and it made them so real. Like, that's your partner. It's this huge moment for them. Let them throw your trash at you. It doesn't matter.
And you cannot accept an Oscar with gum in your mouth.
No. And he acknowledged her in the speech. He called her his partner and he spoke of her kids, which is so crazy because it's like Harvey Weinstein's kids. And I think he referred to himself as like a nickname. He was like, Popsy. He said something like, Popsy did it or Popsy won. Like, I'm like, are you saying you're their dad? I mean, their dad's in jail. So like, they need a father. He's not the stepfather. He's a father who stepped up. Like, yeah. I thought I heard that, but don't quote me on that. So I thought the whole exchange was actually really sweet. And I love them together. And I'm putting aside like my distaste for his speech because I can hold space for multiple things at once. It was a very cute moment, and it was a really, and then he couldn't remember. He was like thanking everyone on his team and his family and his family and his family. And he's like, I feel like I'm forgetting. And then they cut to Georgina and she's screaming, your mom, your dad, your parents. She's literally telling him who he forgot. They're totally like in love. They're a real couple. Like they are parchy.
Like Kylie and Timothy. They're so
Kylie and Timothy were on camera quite a bit because, you know, in the monologue, they love to like poke fun at everyone. And Timmy had like a whole bit with Adam Sandler. And Kylie was like cut out for like a lot of the, I was wanting to scream at the cameraman. Zoom the fuck out.
Another reason why it's a disgusting program.
Zoom out. Kylie's here. And then when they did show her, she seemed to like not want to be laughing at jokes. Either she didn't understand them or she didn't want to like, you know, a laugh is an endorsement. Yeah. So she was just being very political.
Yeah. No, she definitely is diplomatic and doesn't want to, like, and also something she might have, just staying out of it. But they can't keep their hands off each other, those two. And they've been dating a while now. So you would think, like, the lust era might have ended. But no, they're obsessed.
And Pauline was there. I love to see Pauline out there shaking that thing.
And
Kimberly
his parents
from Sex
were
Lives of College Girls. Yes, I think he has another brother too, but he's not in Sex Lives of College Girls, so I don't know him.
Yeah.
But they all took like a family photo. Kylie skipped the carpet, but met him right at the seats, you know, letting him have his moment. Timothy looked really cute in his yellow outfit.
He did. I liked his yellow outfit. It was a good night for them. Even though his movie took home not one award, I didn't think it was deserved. None of these movies were good, by the way. Like, it was a particularly bad year for movies. Because when you think about last year, like Elvis, right? Like, even though it didn't win everything, it was like glamour and everyone was talking about Aston Butler. There was like nothing like that this year. Wicked.
Oh, yeah. But see, people refuse to give Wicked, even myself. Like, look, as a critic myself, I'm so sort of inured to not giving it the credibility it deserves, even though it is. Like, it was the biggest movie of the year. If we can talk about Barbie at the Oscars in a real way, we could talk about Wicked at the Oscars in a real way.
More so than Barbie. Also, even though I really liked Elvis, I don't think it was that good.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed it.
You know what I mean?
Like
I'm saying,
like, that's kind of like Rocket Man. That was like a good, stupid movie. And it, like, Bohemian Rhapsody was a more serious version. I don't know what the difference was, but like Bohemian Rhapsody deserves awards. Rocket Man doesn't.
Speaking of Rocket Man, Diane Warren lost again. I believe it was her 16th Oscar loss. And just give the woman a fucking Oscar.
Give her an Oscar, especially because this wasn't a year where there was, you know, a Let It Go from Frozen, like something undeniable. Of course, we could have skipped Amelia Perez. And also, Oscars are about a body of work, right? Sometimes it's not just about what you did this year, but like everything in the past. Leonardo DiCaprio winning for Revenant. Give it to Diane Warren. Also, that song sounded parchy.
That song did sound really good. I hadn't heard of the song with her, but it sounded really good. And the winner was Amelia Perez. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
This was the year to give it to Diane Warren.
Of all the reasons why Amelia Perez like was the worst movie and so offensive was because of the music. It was seriously like bad music. So for them to have won the music category was offensive. It was.
Then Best Supporting Actor, Man went to Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. I really liked his speech. I didn't realize what it was lacking until you shared, but your bar is very, very high.
It's him and his cousin go to Poland after their grandma, who's a Holocaust survivor, dies. I didn't. I almost did, but again, I have such a hard time. I can acknowledge like how close, and that's what even we were saying about Nobody Wants This. Like, we're so critical of anything that reflects our culture because it's usually bad. So I was just not in the mood to like take umbrage with the film. Do you know what I mean? Because it was set in modern times. It's not like an old school Holocaust movie.
They're like, I saw a review of it that was actually looked like a good review. It made me want to watch the movie. It's like two guys are trying to like stave off a midlife crisis. So they go to the camps, you know, to kind of put things in perspective. Like, life's not so bad. I thought there was a funny quote. It's like, you're the product of like 1,000 miracles because like their grandma survived and you're going to overdose on sleeping pills. Like, I don't think so.
Right. Right. That's funny.
Yeah. And so I was like, actually, this looks good. I actually might watch it. But then they showed a clip from it. The two boys are on the train, like talking about the train ticket. And they're like, something about the $12 train ticket and how they used to live here, but they were all kicked out because they're cheap. They thought we were cheap. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Right.
That's what we're going to
So I didn't watch it because I really wasn't in the mood to like be a hater again. Do you know what I mean?
It's so hard. It needs to be perfect.
I need to pick and choose my battles.
It's definitely not going to be, but I did see a good review. I feel like there's hope, except for then I saw that clip.
And I have no problem with him. Who else was nominated in the category?
Honora, Yura, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Motherfucker Pierce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice.
So the only other person that I thought should have won, which is funny considering I have such a hate for Honora, is the guy who was nominated because he was an amazing actor. Like, the movie was bad. This is what I'm saying. You have to separate the performer from the performance. Honora was like such a dumb movie. This guy was actually an amazing actor. He's relatively unknown, and you couldn't get a read on him the whole time. Like, he actually was a really important person in the movie. So if anything from Honora was gonna win, like, I wanted it to be that guy because I liked his character and he did an amazing job. But whatever.
Then Best Director went to Honora.
All in all, like, it was just such a dumb evening. Like, the movies were dumb. The people were dumb. Oh, you didn't say Zoe Saldana. Did we say Zoe Saldana?
Oh, no, sorry. I meant to go back. Yeah, Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez.
And I just wanted to say I thought her speech was out of control. Like,
classic.
Like, she was really nutty at the Golden Globes, and it was, like, funny but weird. And she just brought the same energy. I thought she was really nutty. I actually loved the way that she looked. I thought she looked, I've seen a lot of like hate for her dress. I thought she looked beautiful. And I just thought it was like such a crazy speech. Like, I was just like, oh, it was a lot. And then she went backstage and was doing press and she got asked a question because the movie's been like highly criticized especially
people.
by Mexicans.
Yeah, no, but I mean, not by critics, by people.
Yes, right. By fans. And there was a reporter from like a Mexican publication who was Mexican herself and was like, what do you say to like the people in Mexico who were just like really disheartened to see you like make a film at the heart of Mexico and all you're talking about is like drug cartels and murder, which is like something we are known for that we shouldn't be. We have other things to offer, like a beautiful culture. And she basically told this woman to go fuck herself. She was like, we made the movie in Mexico, but it's not about Mexico.
It's about women.
It couldn't have happened anywhere. It's about the women. And it was actually like a really media trained answer.
Yeah, she really gaslit her because she was like, I'm so sorry. We never mean to cause any offense, but this movie was made with love.
And like you can think that and you have every right to, but here's why it's dumb.
No, I kind of like, that's my
And she was just sort of like cutting out Mexico from she was like, yeah, we might have filmed in Mexico, but it was fucking irrelevant. Like, nobody cares about Mexico. And it was like, well, actually the whole movie, I agree. It was done in Spanish. It was actually really about Mexico.
Yeah.
It was the backdrop. And the same way that like Brighton Beach was the backdrop of Honora and the Honora girl like thanked the people of Brighton Beach.
The movie can be about 4 women and Mexico.
Right, but also the movie was special because the woman in particular, Amelia, was a Mexican cartel drug lord before transitioning to becoming a woman.
What was her name? What was her name before she becomes Amelia?
Oh, she had like a drug cartel name, like the Monster or something.
Yeah,
like El Chapo. You know?
Like
I don't
El
know what like
Yeah,
I don't realize what like the government name was, but the drug cartel had like a name, and it was like the leader of it was like El Chapo.
Yeah, like a
nickname.
Yeah, a nickname, like Dirty.
Yeah, like a surname, you know?
Yeah, I kind of want to just know.
I really did not enjoy the Oscars at all. And I'm annoyed because like I was really curious to see if like for the first year where I watched almost all the movies, would it have been a different experience? And maybe if I had chosen a different year, like where the movies were like they were competitive, like if there were so many good movies that we couldn't even choose, you know? But oh my God, it was seriously like this is the state of filmmaking. James Cameron is rolling over in his grave. Like it was so lame. And every movie was like stupid and I don't know. It wasn't giving Oscars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think this is what the Oscars are giving now.
I guess. But even when I think about recent years, like there are movies that stand out that we still talk about, like Green Book, you know? Like
Green Book.
Do you know what I mean? Yes. Like none of the movies from this year will be remembered besides Wicked.
Green Book is a great movie.
Green Book was an amazing movie. And I remember that year we watched a lot of the movies. Also, the one with the billboards.
The
Francis.
Yeah, we watched that one. I can't believe we watched that. That was a bad movie.
But I'm saying every year, like there are movies to watch. Like
yeah,
I didn't think that movie was so bad actually.
Yeah.
Like something happens to their daughter and they take out billboards in like this small town. I'm just saying movies come to mind in recent years that I've seen. Like I don't think we'll be talking about these films ever again.
I agree. And just to circle back, Amelia Perez's original name, the nickname was Manitas. Does that sound right?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Means handyman or man who does jobs.
Okay. Like
go off, Amelia.
When that Amelia Perez songwriter started singing on stage, like I knew I needed to turn it off.
Yeah, that was just kind of like a great end to this run for Amelia Perez.
Correct. And they were nominated twice in the song category. Like it's fucking crazy.
I guess like no other musicals really came out this year that were really.
But the original song category doesn't do musicals. Like people write songs for the soundtrack.
No, but
Miley.
Usually it's like an animated movie. Like they always have like Coco.
There's always one, Disney
Moana.
Film. Yeah.
So that's why
Frozen.
It's surprising. And that's why this was the year to give it to Diane Warren because there was nothing that was undeniable.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you feel like you're done talking about the Oscars?
Yeah, there really actually wasn't even that much to say. I guess I didn't have that many hot takes. Just that I didn't like Conan. I thought Honora was
not worthy.
And
understood. No, I'm in a place where I'm very removed from this year's Oscars, the movies, the ceremony, turning it off. Thank you for.
It was a good year for you to skip.
Thank you for offending me because I wanted to turn it off and now I had cause. Just pile of shit.
It was a good year to skip.
Yeah, well, maybe next year. Better luck next year. Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Kourtney Kardashian addresses the viral rumors that her son Mason, 15, reminder 15,
I feel sick.
Reminder to us, 15, has a baby, in a rare statement. So this is what she said. I rarely address rumors or conspiracies regarding myself or my family, but this is about my child, and it feels wrong to let anyone think for a second that these lies are remotely true. They are not. I'm hanging my head in shame. Me.
I am hanging my
Not
head.
Not her. Me. As
shame.
I read this,
I thought that's what you were saying, that she wrote that. I'm like, oh, I didn't read that part of the statement.
Sorry. Unquote, Jackie saying, as I read this, I am hanging my head in shame. Back to the quote. Mason does not have a child. These accounts that pretend to be him are definitely not. They are fake. My son really values his privacy, and I'm asking all media to please be respectful. He's a kid with feelings and a beautiful life ahead of him. Please stop spreading false narratives and spinning lies. And to all the other people making videos about my kids, who, by the way, are minors, please stop and leave them alone. Okay.
Now, I just want to say, I
just want to say, Claudia brought it up.
Oh, bitch.
I didn't make it a story, and Claudia brought it up. That's what I want to say.
I want to say that I feel a little bit of peace knowing she's not referring to us directly, because she's talking about people who make the accounts.
Yeah, the video that I saw where it's someone talking head, a green screen in front of this fake screenshot of Mason's fake Finsta. She's talking to that person.
she's talking to the people who make the Finstas, the people who like spread. I guess like that technically was us, and I'm sorry, like she's so right. Some lessons need to be learned the hard way. I am hanging my head in shame. I shouldn't have brought it up. It just like it came across my desk, and like that's why I hate this job sometimes. Like you're forced to do things that you don't. And I knew it was wrong. Like
out of
bringing
character.
I knew it was
It's not
wrong.
who
Like
we are.
of course. And you know what? Even if Mason did have a child, still none of our business. Oh, speaking of, you know what I'm going to watch this week? I've seen a lot of talk about it on social media. Ruby Franke Hulu documentary, like the mommy blogger.
Yeah.
Apparently she like filmed a lot of her abuse like as vlog content, like yelling at everyone, and like didn't delete it. So they have a lot of things from her hard drive, and I've been seeing it go viral on social media. And that was a story that I know about, but I don't know a lot of the details. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna add that to my list.
Let me know how it is if you would recommend it. I would maybe watch it, but let me know if it's like really upsetting.
Bothersome.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, you know, I think a lot of people have been asking me, like, Turdy, are you going to put your kids on social media? And I'm definitely not. And I think that this documentary will only further my decision. Like, I don't judge people who put their kids on social media, but I think that after watching this documentary, I might start
to judge them.
Yeah.
Also, something that's been in the news is that new California law that we haven't spoken about. But California now has a law that if your kids are in your content, if you do like a family channel, if they're in like, 30%?
30% of your content.
Then you need to give them earnings and like put it in an account for them by law.
If your kids account for 30% of your content, then 65% of the revenue that the kids bring in needs to be put into a trust for the child. This is like a new child labor, child exploitation law that passed in California a couple of weeks ago. And I actually think it's a great law. And a lot of people are talking about it online. Actually, and they're kind of targeting a couple of creators because like the LeBrant family, I don't know if you know who that is. They're one of the biggest YouTube family channels. They have like 5 kids now. They're moving out of California, and people are like, well, it's because they don't want to pay their kids. And I don't know if that's true or not. But then Brittany Xavier, who's a TikToker who makes content with mostly her husband and their like 18-year-old daughter, but they also have 2 other kids who get in the content. She's also moving to Tennessee. And people are like, well, it's because you don't want to pay your kids. She actually responded. And she was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, every time my kids are in a video of mine, and I've said this for years, I pay them. We're moving out of California for X, Y, and Z. They're like, I think she wants to like live on a farm. She's very like homesteadery.
Yeah, there are other valid reasons for wanting to move out of California.
Especially after the fires. So
it's not because people don't want to pay their kids. I also follow Brittany Xavier, and it's like, she's not like a family channel. Like, yeah, her kids are there sometimes like for something, but it's like, that's not what she does.
No, you can tell when like a parent sets up a tripod in the kid's room and like holds a gun to their head to like dance on camera. That's not Brittany Xavier. I agree. The LeBrant family does definitely like
they're a family channel, and a family like that, 100% like this law is good for them.
I think it's fabulous.
And as long as they're like good people, they would have already been doing something like this. So it shouldn't change. And if this really changes their operation, then they're not operating in good faith.
Agreed.
Like
100%.
this should be something that like doesn't even change people's day to day because they were doing something like this.
Because they were already doing it.
Yeah. So we'll see if any big people start leaving, but I really don't think that's why.
No, I don't either. And I actually don't think that California is like the most popular place for family channels to exist. I feel like it's like a lot of Utah, a lot of Texas. Like I don't think that it's a very California-like thing.
Yeah, agreed. Because they're the Elko dreamers.
Right. Back to Mason. I just want to say, like, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for
I'm sorry to Kourtney.
Like, dragging you down. No, it was so wrong. It was so wrong. I didn't say that I believed it. I just like was remarking on how crazy it was that people were saying it. Like it was already, I didn't make it a thing. So I don't want to take responsibility for that. But like I shouldn't have brought it up. It's gross.
I believe I said there's beauty in it. Which if true, like I would stand by because I think it would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. A baby is a blessing.
Yeah, and there was actually like some sweet parts. Like the baby would have a great living grandmother. Like there was beauty in it.
Yeah, I guess we did talk about it like at length.
But I'm gonna script that back. We were wrong for bringing it up. I blame Claudia, and now we're moving on.
And you know who I blame? Whoever sent me that TikTok. Like I forget who it was, but like
we will think 5 times
before we speak. Yeah.
Are you ready for our next story?
Number 4?
Number 3. Claudia, if you have to ask,
Oh my God,
I'm
we
testing
need to
this
hustle.
theory. I'm testing this theory because someone said every time Claudia asks what number story it is, it's always number 3. So like now every time you ask, we need to check.
Well, especially recently I've been asking because in our new studio setup, you don't have a clock near you where you can see the time. And I actually think you need one because like you would be moving moving differently.
I just need to move my Rodecaster away from the light because it's the reflection that stops me from being able to see it. But it is our 3rd story, and I'm going to carry on with it.
Please.
Because Bethenny Frankel says that Alix Earle stood her up for dinner. So Bethenny had a long weekend in Miami that was very early because she was supposed to go to dinner with Alix and Braxton at Carbone. She gets to the restaurant. She starts filming for everyone that Alix and Braxton stood her up. So she eats alone with her phone and takes everyone through the menu and whatnot. But there was like no bad blood. She said that they're going to reschedule. Then they were seen together. They made some TikToks together.
They had dinner the next night. Like they made it right.
They went out. Apparently Alix was sick from all of her travel and she couldn't make the original dinner.
That's not what happened.
What happened?
So Bethenny TikToks all the time, you know, like she makes like a lot of content every day. And that night she makes a TikTok, the first one from the series. And it's like, you know, when the hot young influencer like stands you up for dinner.
Yeah.
And people started spiraling. And Bethenny then like made 1,000 TikToks about it, explaining that they had this dinner plan. She wasn't sure if Braxton was coming, but it was totally her and Alix. And it was at Carbone, and she gets to the table. They gave her this great table. And she texts Alix being like, by the way, they sat me in the corner. And, you know, when Bethenny's telling the story, she's being like, you know, they're young, they're kids. So, like, I'm sure they're going to be late. She's just being, like, a little derogatory the whole time. And then Alix calls her. And she's like, oh, my God, is that tonight? She was like, I totally mixed up the dates. Like, I'm so, you know, crazy from traveling. I'm so sorry. Super apologetic. But she got the date wrong. And she didn't stand her up. She just, like, mixed it up. It was a mistake. And Bethenny then like decides to just be like, fuck it. You know, I'm having dinner by myself at Carbone. She has this fabulous meal. She's taking videos of herself eating, you know, the whole thing. Being like, when somebody stands you up, like be your own independent woman and like have dinner by yourself.
I know, and she was like, I'm going to sit here for you guys so I can take you through I hate that. It's like, I'm fine and I'm hungry.
She's like, well, I'm at this bougie restaurant. Basically the undercurrent being like that you guys could never be at. And so I'm going to eat here for you.
No, and what was annoying, it's like she's at Carbone and she's like, I'm not having pasta tonight. I'm going to have a fish and a salad. Like, I don't need to see we eat a fish and a salad. I want to see that rigatoni.
It's so true.
Show me the Tony.
So the next day, like the content doesn't stop from Bethenny being like, get unready with me, getting, you know, stood up by Alix
Miami
Earle.
dinner fit to not meet Alix.
Right. So she's just like kind of beating a dead horse. And Alix is like, you know, being, you know, a good sport, leaving comments being like, oh yeah, I hear that Alix Earle sucks. And then the next night they get together, Alix brings her like a dozen roses. They make a million TikToks about it, like all good. Now, I just want to say, and I think that I've met Alix Earle a couple of times. I do not know her by any means, but like the vibe that I got is she's an extremely nice girl. And I do not think like the crazy rise to fame has affected her at all. I think she's really down to earth. Her friends from college are still her best friends. Like she's really,
except for Sandra.
I think she's except for Sandra. I think she's a really, really nice girl.
Yes.
Like, and I really believe that.
Good vibes.
Yeah. And so I think if anything, like her fault is like maybe she's a little naive. I think that might have been the case with the unwell thing that we've just been talking about. Because if I'm Alix Earle, I'm kind of hating Bethenny. Because
you think Alix Earle is being too nice about this?
Yeah, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if we never see these two interact again. Like Alix wanted to make it right, like go to dinner, like yeah. But I don't know. Mistakes happen. I don't believe in any way that she didn't show up in bad faith and like wanted to stand up Bethenny Frankel. I think it really was a mix up. She's a young girl. She's a lot going on. She parties a lot. Like it happens, right? And what's the worst feeling than being like someone's at the restaurant and you're in your pajamas? Like I'm sure she felt fucking horrible, like really, really horrible. So to then like have Bethenny make, I swear, 20 TikToks about it, and I'm not even exaggerating, and it's just like beating home like this thing you're probably embarrassed about that you feel bad about. I just felt like Bethenny did a little too much. And I know Bethenny, this is Bethenny's shtick. That's why she's as successful as she is like every time something minor happens, like she went to a Chanel store and she said that they turned her away because she looked ugly or whatever. Like she makes it a moment, and that's how she's so relevant. It's brilliant like media strategy. And so this is what she does. And I just feel like if I'm Alix Earle, like I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah,
like,
I think there was a point
she was doing a little too much.
It was like, okay, now we're even.
Yes.
And if I was Alix Earle, I'd be glad that she's getting all this content from it because it's like, okay, now I don't feel so bad. Like
At
things
least
went well for
yeah,
her.
I could give her this.
Had a viral dinner and yeah. But I do hope that like at some point it stops, and it stopped like at dinner. I hope they had a nice dinner. We don't know what happened at their dinner, like what they were talking about, what their relationship was before this. Because I just saw Bethenny doing a video about the Lix versus Lex drama. And she was saying that she's met both women. There's no drama. They're both amazing.
It was a particularly bad take. And Bethenny usually is very good.
I thought it was a bad take
takes.
too, but I think it was just like she wanted to weigh in. And I think she has relationships with both of them and just
both of them
didn't want to say anything that would piss off the other. And maybe this is actually how she sees it. Because I think what she's saying is, I think what she wants, like, it's definitely a thing that could happen. It's just two people in business and it's whatever. And that's true sometimes. I think she wants that to be true. But I don't think that's what happened here.
It's so not true. And Alix actually over the weekend was doing a Get Ready With Me.
Lix?
And Lix. She, on TikTok, like, very briefly mentioned, she's been like, there's been like a lot of chatter online, like about the podcast. And honestly, like I'm just as surprised as you guys. That's all she said. Basically being like the drop was surprise to her. I don't know. Well, she really glossed over it.
No, I think there's so many things it could mean. And she left us like leaving it to
wanting
interpretation. More. One, I think surprised by the use of the word drop, that's how that they would phrase it. She was definitely surprised by that. Or two, it's like maybe they were battling for a while. Like, I want to leave. I want to take my show. No, you can't. You're with us, blah, blah, blah. And maybe it was going on for months ever since the papa got involved, And then maybe all of a sudden they let her go. Like maybe they just laid down their arms for whatever reason. And she was surprised that they just gave it up.
Like that was her way of finding out, maybe?
Yeah, or that like she was surprised when she heard the news. Like, actually, you can walk and here's your show and bye-bye. Right. And then the drop. I think that there were elements of it that were surprising to her. So I feel like that is a good way of phrasing it.
Okay.
Euphemistic, but she's keeping her cards close. She's very shrewd.
Well, when it comes to the Bethenny thing, like I just want to say, if we never see these two hanging out again, I think that's why.
I feel like they have a deeper
the comment
friendship.
section.
What I got from this is that they have a deeper friendship than we know, where they can like barb like this on social media. But what do I know?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Even the comments at first were like, "Oh my God, LOL, like fun." And then everybody was like, "Okay, Bethenny, you're really like beating a dead horse. Like, did you have to make 30 TikToks about it?" Like, so the narrative started to change. And I'm actually really curious what Alix's thoughts on it are. Like, oh, all in good fun, or like, okay, back off a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder what they're having dinner about.
Yeah, just like Miami girls.
Yeah, business women.
TikTokers.
Now,
before we continue,
are you ready for the next story?
If it's brought to you by No Bull, the footwear brand for training and for daily life, built to support you in your pursuit of physical, mental, and emotional strength. We love No Bull because they celebrate a no bullshit approach to wellness. There's so much crap out there, especially in the wellness space. There's trends, fads, empty promises, and No Bull is really a mentality. You are the only one who can make yourself better, and they're known for their best-in-class, award-winning footwear. They have options across training, lifestyle. They have options for everyone. Like some people just need sneakers to live in, like we're not necessarily like doing the most crazy workout. We just need like good supportive sneakers. And some people like need their training.
To love.
Exactly. So whatever you need, whether you're laughing, loving, or training. No Bull has apparel, sneakers just for you. Sometimes you need an easy shoe that can do it all for you, and that's the No Bull All Day. It's breathable, it's comfortable, it's versatile, and it's really cute. You can slip them on. Perfect for long days on your feet, travel. It's the shoe for everyday life, and they just have the cutest colors and prints. So browsing their website, you'll really find something that you love. And exclusively for Toasters, they just increased our discount. So if you want to shop No Bull, they are offering 30% off your order when you go to nobullproject.com/toast. It'll get you 30% off your entire order. That's nobullproject.com/toast for 30% off. That's nobullproject.com/toast for 30% off your entire order. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prolon. Do you love going out, hanging with friends? Yes. Does all that eating and drinking really start to take a toll?
Yes.
Also, yes. I can always tell when my body is desperately craving a reset, and Prolon by L Nutra does just that. Their 5-day program gives your system a break. It's fasting, but it includes food. So it's pretty much a game changer. So their fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe that they're fasting. It was researched and developed for decades at USC's Longevity Institute, and it's backed by leading US medical centers. Prolon helps support healthy blood sugar, enhanced skin appearance, fat loss, and improved energy and focus post-fast. It all starts with the 5-day program. It includes snacks, soups, beverages. It's all designed to keep your body in a fasting state. There's no guesswork or planning required. It's a relief after a busy holiday. With 3 consecutive cycles of Prolon, it has been shown to reduce your biological age score by an average of 2.5 years and your waist circumference by 1.5 inches. To help you kickstart a health plan that truly works, Prolon is offering Toast listeners 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day nutrition program. Just visit prolonlife.com/toast. That's PROLONLIFE.com/toast to claim that 15% discount and the bonus gift. prolonlife.com/toast. If you've been wanting to do some sort of like fast, but you find it really intimidating because like eating is life, Prolon has an amazing hack because it is like quote unquote fasting, but you're not. You're getting like soups, snacks, beverages. So prolonlife.com/toast to claim that 15% off. Today's episode is also brought to you by Armra Colostrum. So everyone's talking about colostrum, specifically Armra. If you're always on the lookout for ways to strengthen your immunity, your gut health, improve your fitness, metabolism, enhance your skin, hair radiance, well, we recently discovered an incredible brand, Armra Colostrum. And you've probably heard about them by now. It's the best kept secret in the industry. But word is finally getting out, and for good reason. It's everywhere. It's almost too good to be true, but thousands and thousands of people are reporting transformational health benefits, tens of thousands of 5-star reviews, and life-changing stories. This stuff really delivers. So there's a bunch of different... if you guys know, like colostrum, however you pronounce it, is the first thing you're given at birth. Mamas produce it.
First mama's milk.
And Armra is bovine colostrum, so it's all the fabulous nutrients.
The first milk of the cows to get all of that.
So many reported benefits like strengthened immunity, fortified gut health, metabolism can be ignited. It can revitalize hair growth, enhance your skin radiance, fuel performance and recovery. It's a great thing to add to your morning routine, whatever, if any of those benefits sound like they might behoove you. It's really been like closely guarded by athletes for a really long time. If you're just wanting to get into workout, but you worry about like recovery, muscle soreness, it's a great option there too. And we've worked out a special offer for the toasters to receive 15% off your order when you go to tryarmra.com/toast or enter code toast to get 15% off your first order. That's TRYARMRA.com/toast, tryarmra.com/toast.
Thank you, /chirp.
You're welcome.
Our next story, I must share. Meghan Markle is on the cover of People magazine ahead of her new Netflix show in a wide-ranging interview. The title is The Meghan Interview. Harry, the Kids, and My Life Now, an intimate conversation with the Duchess of Sussex. With a new show and lifestyle brand, Meghan is returning to her roots inside her private world in Montecito, why she's back in a honeymoon period with Harry, and what life is really like with Archie and Lilibet, from pancake mornings to cozy takeout nights. There's a photo
this is
shoot.
the first I'm hearing of this, but is anybody else like really shook?
Yeah.
By her being on People magazine? I feel like to promote her new Netflix show, she's a former princess, like she could have gotten the cover of Vogue. Like,
yeah.
People magazine.
So first,
it's very pedestrian.
I saw it this morning when I was reading People Mag. Like it's their cover, it's their top story that she's on the cover. And at first, I just read the interview to like see what she's saying, and it's exactly what you would think. It's the vibes and the cozy mornings. They love a fried egg. We love a lot of bacon. A couple interesting things which I'll share. But then finishing it, I'm like, this is your big magazine interview before your big Netflix show, which by the way, I just saw is only 8 episodes. Like that's not enough, but okay. I would have thought maybe not Vogue, Reach for the Stars.
Something. Hollywood Reporter.
L, Variety. W, yeah. So
I'm really shocked because this is like, and People magazine has done a really good job in separating themselves from like the other airport magazines, but it is a tabloid.
Yeah, no, but also it's where people go when they want to give an interview and be intimate and personal, but not the queen.
No, when you're Meghan Markle, like you're supposed to have options better than this.
Yeah. Even like,
and it's not even like it's September. Like
Home and Garden would have, Town and Country would have been inspired, and would have been like super party. But like we see this from reality stars, like The Bachelor.
And Christina Hack has been on the cover of People magazine.
Yeah.
That's really strange.
Now that I think about it, it really is.
That was because I've never heard the story until you just brought it up. I didn't know that she did this interview, and my first thing was like, lowbrow.
Yeah, she's not really saying much that we don't already know. However, the Lemonada podcast was mentioned. It says that it's coming in the spring. That's all it said. But now it's like, well, if she's going to have a TV show and a product brand, like you don't also need a podcast. That's too much.
No, she should have spread it out because she's been like relatively quiet business-wise for like the last year or two since the Lemonada podcast was announced. And that would have been a good time for her to do the podcast You have to space these things out.
Yeah, but like
I actually feel like her and Harry are not good at spacing things out. Like they go dark for a while and then they do book, Netflix, the games, what are the games? Invictus. They do like a million things at once and then they overlap so hard and then they go dark. It's like they need to make the money, so they work hard for 6 months and then they spend the money for the next year. Like they need to spread it out a little bit better.
Yeah, well, I do think this is like her, goal for spreading it out is to March 4th. Wait, it premieres today. It's Coronation Day.
Oh my God, are you going to be? No, today's March 3rd.
I can't. Okay, that's good. Tomorrow. I have to finish my book. Thank God, honestly. Thank you, Meghan. Because like I have to read all day.
But to the list of things we're still waiting for, say spring 2025. Write that down.
Wait.
Meghan's Lemonada.
Wait, Claudia, it's already on the list. I just know us.
Did she say spring?
Countdown to Meghan X Lemonada.
What does it say? Spring?
Oh no! Now I'll add our trajectory.
Now we have a general window.
Okay, but spring, so she has until June 21st.
Right, and spring starts technically March 21st, right?
Yeah, well, my beef with this March 20th.
I know
with Rebecca.
But I'm saying it's technically 3 weeks away.
So Lemonada could be dropping as soon as 3 weeks,
or as late as 3 months.
Okay, we have our window. What else? Mayhem, Lady Gaga. We're waiting for. I would have forgotten about that.
She's getting to work like abracadabra.
Things we needed to follow up on. Beyonce announcement. We can check that off. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, tour.
Keeping Up with Sports. Unfortunately, we can't check that off
Still
yet.
radio silence.
And then the Carrie Underwood concert DVD, which I do think has come out.
Yes, I saw it on Hulu. I didn't watch it, but I saw that it was there.
And then our content plate. Let's see if we got to any of this.
Okay.
Shogun. No.
No, and the time has passed. You could take it off. I'm not watching it.
I'm going to leave it. Lioness. Back in Action. Oh, that's Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx. Wait, I need to add that to the list of family. Next time we need a movie as a family.
No, actually, I disagree. I would not agree. I would not, like, if we all sit down on the couch, be like, yeah, let's watch that. I would be a naysayer.
What
to
if
that
it was
movie.
like me, you, and our husbands? That's kind of
I would say no.
Oh my God.
Like, first of all, that movie came out and
So
nobody moved. I heard not
unsimpatico.
one thing. I heard not one thing about the movie.
I know, but these days, like, you'll hear if it's bad too. There'll be like clips clowning on it.
That's true.
Okay, so see you tomorrow, Meghan. I can't friggin' wait.
Are we ready for the fifth and final?
I can't wait for next summer. I'm counting the days.
Counting the days.
We are ready for the fifth and final, and I do feel like you might have not seen it yet, which is exciting.
Breaking news.
Ingrid Andress has taken another stab at the national anthem. So, and I do mean stab. The people are saying that she slayed, but I don't think that she did.
No, the thing is that Ingrid Andress, the whole saga about her like being drunk at the All-Star game and like if you don't remember, she sang the national anthem at the MLB All-Star game last year so horrifically, so offensively, and she literally dropped a statement being like, I'm an alcoholic, like this is rock bottom. See you guys later. And she went to rehab. She's been kind of quiet since. And now, like, as a part of her comeback, she sang the national anthem at another baseball game, which I actually think was a really good way for her to come back.
It was a hockey
and she
game,
did it,
but sure.
Whatever. She did it to the best of her abilities. But the thing is, she never should have been tapped in the first place. She's not that type of singer. She's a very sweet,
like moody.
Very moody. Yes, very like Norah Jones.
Like Maggie Rogers. I don't need to hear Maggie Rogers sing the national anthem.
She doesn't belt. You need, like, Broadway people sing the national anthem. People with really soulful voices. She never should have been tapped. And so even when she was going to come back and do her best, it still wasn't going to be like good.
Well, so here's what I got from this. She sang the national anthem like the Ingrid Andress way, not drunk. And now I can understand. Like, I thought it was, like, not a
what she was trying to do?
Yes. Like, the other one was so crazy, but it was, like, the drunk version of this, which is already a little crazy because it's not, like, there were just a lot of long notes and a lot of, like, riffs. And I didn't love she nailed what she tried to do, but I don't like what she tried to do. So now I can also understand how things got so off the rails at the last one because she was already going with, like, a twisted version.
No, and like her best version was never going to be particularly amazing.
Yeah, and there is
so the bar was low.
Also, like even her best sober version like sounds drunk. So then when she's drunk, like it's a mess.
Although I think like strategy-wise, this was a great way for her to get back out there and like kind of right the wrong. There was a lot of ways she could have come back, and I don't know if I would have suggested doing another national anthem, but I kind of love it.
No, it's hysterical, and I did feel like the audience, I don't know if they were briefed, like, okay, she's coming back, redemption, because it felt like everyone was like rooting for her to like get it right this time. It felt like everyone in the room like knew the assignment. So I agree that, and I'm a huge Ingrid Andress fan. I don't feel like I've said that. Her songs like actually make me cry, and I love them.
It needs to be said.
I absolutely, like if she drops an album, I'm listening backwards and forwards. So this is as a fan. I'm glad that we can move on from this because
yes.
And I wasn't even going to hold a grudge, but we do just need to close the chapter. Chapter equals closed. I hope Ingrid is doing well.
Me too. Sending well wishes to Ingrid, and maybe like let's stay away from sporting events. It's not your thing. Like even sober.
Yeah. And so good on her team
for recognizing this moment.
Completing the circle.
Now let's talk about Love is Blind. Quick TV recap because seriously nothing happened except obviously like so much happened for me to hate. And I'm gonna.
That should be the title of today's episode.
There were 3 episodes released. We started with 5 couples and we're now down to 4. Thankfully, Dave and Lauren broke up. Because watching them for one more minute like was so painful. It was actually cruel to make this girl be in a relationship with this guy who just refused to believe her, refused to champion her, refused to defend her. And meanwhile, she's like a doormat being like, love me, I'll do anything for you. Like it was really painful. So to see her in the smallest way stick up for herself, and she didn't even really because he broke up with her, but she like made him break up with her, which I appreciate because if she just broke up with him, that's exactly what he wanted, to like get out of this relationship. So I like that she made him do it, but I just like, it was really painful to watch somebody like not even remotely stick up for themselves. And she knew she was right. Like it was such a painful relationship to be a part of. I'm so glad it's over.
Yeah. So I'm still on the honeymoons, but from Dave and Lauren, what I find surprising is like, I feel like she's very unsure about him. And so it's kind of, this is before all the drama with the guy that he knows, whatever. But I do feel like she's like projecting these things onto their relationship. Like they never even had a fair shot. Like I feel like from the minute she saw him, like she knew something was wrong and she never let him in even. Not that she should because he turned out to not be a great guy, but like there was always a blockage between them. And it wasn't like she was like, oh, Dave, I love you.
No, I feel like she was really committed to letting this process work, like slowly. And like even by the honeymoons, like she was open to like, you know, becoming a real couple. And I think that if he had let her in more, like with, and not made the whole drama such a big deal, like they probably wouldn't have gotten married, but she was really committed to the process, like of taking it slow, of getting to know, getting engaged, moving in. And he just like refused to move forward once he found out that like she had a boyfriend. Sorry, she slept with somebody like a week before the show. He was such a prick. And it was just like the obsession with the sister. First of all, we never got the sister. We never got a single one of his friends on the show. And he really made her feel like that was her fault, being like, well, now my sister, nobody wants to be a part of the show because you had sex with somebody 2 weeks before coming here. And she was like, well, my family didn't really want to be a part of the show, but half of them did. And the ones that didn't agreed to meet you off camera. So like, why can't anybody come to the table? Why is everything was Lauren's fault? It was actually painful to watch him, really like painful. Seriously. And then the next like couple of nights later, everybody gets together and old people come, Dave and Lauren come, and Molly comes.
Molly is the redhead?
The redhead. We're very used to like people in the pods, you know, being in a threesome. And then like the couple breaks up and the girl then goes and like tries to get with Dave. And let me tell you how refreshing it was to like hear Molly and Lauren chat. Lauren tells Molly the whole story. She's so disgusted. She's so riding hard for Lauren. She's not even remotely interested in, they don't even talk. Like she's not even interested in any of it. It was so refreshing to see somebody like really not like looking out for their own interests, just being like, oh, I'm going to believe Lauren that this guy sucks and I'm going to stay away. Like it was just such a clean, I made me like Molly so much. And she was like listening to the story so animated, being like, you're kidding. Oh my God, he's disgusting. It just made me like her so much. And it was really refreshing. We never get that. Because another example, Madison, Mason, and Meg, the threesome.
Hold on.
Ant girl.
Okay. And and no one got together.
Right.
Right.
So everybody comes to this party and turns out Meg and Mason have been seeing each other.
Parch.
Like they connected offline. It sounded like kind of pargy, you know?
Especially because like the way that they ended was not right.
The thing is he did choose the other girl first. Like he did. But whatever.
No, I know,
like,
but
whatever.
Ben Platt explained it really well to Madison when he was defending Mason. Because he was like, yeah, sometimes you feel stronger, but then when someone else feels better about you, like then you go in that way. I don't think it's such a bad thing. And yes, if your first choice doesn't want you, then let me go with my second choice. Like, I just don't think that that's a big deal. I think we need to normalize that.
Yeah.
In this
and
process.
Madison is just fucking dreadful. Like, she comes to this party and there's so much drama, you know? Like, she was at the airport and Ben Platt wanted to meet her and they give her a hug. And then he starts talking shit about Mason. She's telling this cockamamie story. I
She's
seriously
a
couldn't even
liar.
follow it. Well, that's the other thing. I don't believe anything she says. And she's telling this story like she so wants to be the main character of this show. And because she didn't get like to the honeymoons, she needs to find another way. And I so don't care. If everything she's saying is true, like, I still don't give a shit.
We've seen
like,
her lie.
yeah, I don't care. And they never even followed up on it, like, after last night's episodes. And then we're at the weddings now. So she makes this whole drama and still nobody cares. Like, there's no moving the needle with her. She's just, like, she's not a main character. Sorry. So Dave and Lauren break up. It was really painful. She actually shares that he went to go see his sister off camera. And she wrote a letter to the sister, just like explaining who she is and like that she really, really cares about Dave and that everything being said about her is not true. And she just like really wants a chance to meet the sister and show her that she is going to be an amazing wife. And Dave didn't even give the letter to his sister.
I know, I seriously hate.
So
I had
they're
a
broken
bad
up.
feeling about him in the pods, but this is worse than I imagined.
They're broken up. And now the rest of the episodes are just like the final touches on everybody's couples before the wedding. They do the bachelor parties. They go to the mall as their bachelorette party. It was really sad. Oh, and I'm sorry. And they do it. They made it a theme night. Well, I guess the thing in Minnesota that they're known for is the Mall of America. There's
oh my
like a
God,
big.
you didn't say the Mall of America.
So
you
the
don't
bachelorette
have to
party
go
was at the,
anywhere else.
was at the Mall of America, and they also decided to make it a theme night, and they dressed as like
Mary
old
Kate and
ladies,
Ashley?
like old ladies. They wore like
Oh,
cardigans
people
and
like
pearls.
that.
Yeah,
That's a
so
thing.
it's so funny. So
Mall
let
of
me just
America.
give you an update on all couples. I think the couples that we have the strongest chance of seeing get married are, of course, Monica and Joey, who have really just been having good conversations, making progress, talking about family. Like, really, I like them so much. And they had this really sweet conversation where he was like, I really appreciated the fact that, like, the first time you met me, people really write me off because I'm really goofy and I have this, like, positive personality. And they think that you can't be that, but also be, like, intellectual. And I think people often think he's dumb. And he was like, I just really appreciated, like, you seeing me for both sides of who I am. Like, I am really smart, but I'm also, like, goofy Joey.
they're sad.
It was so sweet. Like, Jackie, I love these two. They make the show worth watching, and I do think they'll get married. I do.
Is everyone like freaking out because of like Friends, like Monica and Joey? Every time you say Monica and Joey, I think of Friends.
No, because Monica and Joey like don't end up together in Friends.
Yeah, but it just sounds like the Friends.
It does. It does.
Like when you say
and
Monica
then-
and Joey, I'm transported.
That's fun. But you're also like not watching Love Is Blind. That's why you're transported. The
trying.
the other couple that I shockingly think has a chance is Shawty and Taco Bell nurse,
Hold on.
Taylor and Daniel.
Oh, yes. Oh my God,
Taylor
Claudia.
and Daniel,
and I
yeah.
saw their kerfuffle with the follows. And
Jackie,
it was
the
so
kerfuffle with the
weird.
follows.
Does
Jackie,
it come up
never
ever?
comes up again.
Okay, it was so weird, but it definitely made them stronger. Like any conflict.
I mean,
would.
if I'm her and he's not mad at me and like making me feel, I love him.
No, he was so stalwart. Like his reaction was too good because he was like, whatever you need.
He looks guilty.
Yeah, it was too, like, there's something. There is something because
Yeah.
his reaction was too perfect that it was wrong.
And let me tell you, they have progressed so nicely. I actually think they might get married. He likes her so much. I think she likes, and this is where like Love Is Blind, it's like a good couple for Love Is Blind because she had said she probably would have written him off just because of his height. Like it's just is what it is. And I actually think they're a great couple. And the whole Christmas thing is really weird. They're like two people who are obsessed with Christmas.
They come
and
home
that's like
from
what
Guatemala and they're like, where should I hang my stocking?
Jackie, they did their Christmas cards. It's March.
Oh my God. Well, at least they have
Like-
plans for the future.
And so I do see how she thought he was like faking it.
Right, it's
because
too
it's so
good to be
crazy.
true.
Yeah, it's so nuts. But no, they both are like so obsessed with Christmas. And I actually kind of like them. I think that they'll go all the way. I do.
I like that.
Now we get to like the controversial couples who are probably not getting married. Virginia and Devin.
What happened there?
They talk a lot about politics. And it's clear, he doesn't say it, like Devin and his family are Republicans and Virginia and her family are Democrats. And it's like, can they get past that? And they're having these like political conversations nobody wants to say anything, right?
I
like
mean, you're on TV that could ruin your life.
Yeah, I know.
I'm with you.
So they're in bed and like Virginia's clearly trying to bring up politics and we have to watch like 10 minutes of her circling the drain before she brings up like abortions. And it's so painful. Like, just ask the question. And then he doesn't want to say. He basically says that like a lot of his decisions are guided by his faith, which I think he thought was a safe answer because they've really connected over both like being like God-loving Christians. And she like immediately hates that because she's seeing like, like pro-life energy. And they're not saying any of this. It's all subliminal.
But I'm sure I'm sure they've spoken about some stuff off camera. So it's like they have what to go off of a little bit, but we don't.
So then he's like, she goes, well, what is your family typically like voting history? He's like, well, my family. And so first of all, just so you know, Devin's dad is black, mom is white. And so he has like a mixed race family. And he says, my family has historically voted pretty conservative. And then Virginia goes, oh, well, like my family has tend to voted like more progressive, more liberal leaning, because we're black. And I didn't see anybody online being like, that's kind of rude. Like, Devin's family is black too.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I think the word is colorist. Like, it's like a thing in the black community. Like, I'm less or more black than you. I could tell he was so offended by the remark. And it was just he was like, well, my dad is black. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say? And I felt like after that, like they're done. And now I'm seeing so many like flaws because she has this prenup and he comes and reads it, whatever. And he just signs it, because he's not getting married. Like they're not getting married.
And are there issues outside of the politics, do you think? Or is this really?
No,
and
but
how
it's
do you
not like
not talk about politics in the pod? Like if
offline. Oh, yeah.
And I think that the pod should allow people to talk about politics and that they shouldn't air it because
there should be like private hours of the pods.
Yeah, where you could talk about those things because like they could air it and it might not play well, but you should be able to share what you feel because if you're someone whose politics is really important to you and someone's is diametrically opposed, like you can't be together. You shouldn't be together. Like
so with Virginia,
it's an issue.
With Virginia and Devin, like, I don't think the politics is why they're not gonna end up together. I just think like it's another, because like you watch them and she says all the right things. She's like so happy, haha. But there's like no life behind her smile. Like she's just sort of going through the motions of this. I don't think that they'll get married, but like the opposite is happening with Sarah and Ben, where I think they like each other a lot. Like I think they really have a lot of potential.
He loves her.
And she really likes him. And I think she has like, straight woman guilt for liking this guy who like goes to church. Like she's really into her social causes and her politics. And like, that's just not his thing. He like is just, but he said in like the things that really matter to her, like he would be happy to go to Pride with her. Her sister is lesbian. He'd be happy to like go look at other churches that like are known for being inclusive. Like he's really being flexible with her. And he hasn't said anything. He said like, wait, he said something that was like, oh my God, my brain. He was like, whatever. He was just basically saying like he hasn't given her anything. He's not as passionate.
Yeah.
But they don't inherently disagree on stuff.
He seems pretty apolitical, which I think someone who's like passionate about politics and someone who's apolitical, like I think that works great. I think it's when two people are passionate like an opposing.
Oppositely.
I feel like there's just too many issues like that arise. But I feel like they could work out, and I think it sounds like she's going to ruin it for herself or feels like she shouldn't be with him because she should be with someone more passionate. But she could, if these things are important to her and he loves her, like they will become important to him.
So we get to their wedding right up until like they're like, Sarah, do you?
Oh.
And then it ends. So we see her family and everything. And so I think that like
who's the first wedding?
Sarah and Ben. We haven't seen any weddings yet.
Yes.
So her sister and the sister's wife are like definitely like skeptical of the whole thing, and they catch them on camera. I don't think they realize they're on camera. They're just waiting for her to come out in the dress, and they're like, I think she's going to say yes, but I think she's only going to say yes because she thinks she has to. Like they're hating this whole thing. They hate him. Like they do not want her to get married.
Why don't they like him?
So it's actually funny because he is very similar to how she grew up. Her parents are very like, God-loving Christians. I think they're really excited about the fact that she might end up with somebody who like they would approve of.
Yeah.
It's like an ideal situation for them. So she's kind of torn between like how she grew up and then her sister who sort of, I would say like, is further from the life that they grew up like knowing. And so she wants to please both sides. So I think that's what the sister was saying. But what I don't think the sister gets is like at the end of the day, like I think Sarah likes him so much and that just might that just might be the end all be all.
Yeah, and he says all the right things and it sounds like he means them. And he's open to, like, even he's open to whatever. Like,
yeah,
I think they can grow together.
Or I feel like he might just be saying, because
that's
she brings
tough
something
when
up.
someone's saying everything you want to hear and it's like, I don't believe the words coming out of your mouth.
Well, I believed him because she wasn't saying anything crazy, being like, my sister's gay, would you hang out with her? Like, yeah. And then they come home and his like best friend is lesbian.
Right.
Like it's not a thing. But then she brings up on the last date a conversation being like, if, you know, our kid comes home at 12 and says that they want to transition, she like, and he's just like kind of agreeing with her. And I wasn't buying what he was saying. I think that,
maybe he's going to say no. Maybe he does.
That's what I think. Everyone's like, what's she going to say? What's she going to say? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this whole time he might be like placating.
Yeah. Who do they ask first? Sarah?
Her.
I think she might say no. And he would have said no.
We'll see. The other couple that remains is who? Did I get them all?
I feel like you did.
There were 5. Dave, Virginia, Monica, Sarah, and Ben.
And Shoddy.
Oh, okay, I got them all. It's so boring. One of the worst seasons I've ever watched. I'm having fun recapping it. I'm having no fun watching it. It's like pulling teeth.
I understand.
And I'm not going to lie. Towards the end of this episode, I did start skipping.
Well,
like
the weddings, you can fast forward all the way.
Yes.
We don't need to hear the recap of what we just spent 5 years watching.
Correct.
So that's where I do hit the fast forward.
Hit the fast 5.
I don't need to watch them in the mirror being like, and also fucking lying to us because they're about to say
lying.
no.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's what's crazy. I can't get over that they seriously act like they're having a wedding and it's like, you're a saying no.
Yeah.
You're a saying no.
So that's the Love is Blind recap. Wow, that was a long show. We had a lot to do, and I think we did it all.
I think we did too. We didn't watch White Lotus last night.
No, we'll catch up
and we get to
next
watch
week.
2.
I know. Needed. 1 by 1 is so painful.
I know.
That's our show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Monday Morning Show. We deliver the fastest stories you need to know every Monday to Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe, give us a video, thumbs up, bro. Also, as podcast and podcast we found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Video, I guess box all the places we listen podcast. Find us at 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.